Hello and welcome to my video about the new MacBook Pros 2016. I know I'm a bit late, they came out like last week on Thursday, and I have been meaning to do this video earlier, but the problem was A, I was lazy, can't help with that. Secondly, I actually went to the Apple store here in Amsterdam to get my hands on the laptop and actually record some hands-on video, but it turns out that the laptop won't be available in Amsterdam till the 10th of November. Then I decided I would just wait for some reviews to go online before I can actually give some more information rather than just the everyday information that everyone else seems to have. That's a problem. That's like the problem you have when you're living next to an airport. These planes just... So, all of us pretty much already know what the new MacBook Pro is all about, but I would still like to look at the reveal event, the keynote that Apple did, and give my reviews based on that. So here we go. Let's start. And nice! So we get a slimmer body and a smaller form factor. That is amazing. I wanted something more portable.
Compared to the previous 15-inch MacBook Pro, it is 67% brighter. It has a 67% greater contrast ratio. It displays wide color with a 25% greater color gamut. All this...
The screen is brighter. That is amazing. That is what we want. A brighter screen, better contrast, better color gamut. That is what we want. We want to enjoy when we view things on there.
It can be configured with dual-core 6th generation Intel i5 or i7 chips, also mated to 2133 megahertz system memory. It has faster Intel Iris graphics with 64 megs of EDRAM, which provides up to 2 times the graphics performance of the previous generation. And it...
Oh my god. We have improved processors, we have improved GPUs, and the SSD is like 100 times faster, man. What else could you ask for? Like, this is amazing.
Do not disturb button, or this cool new screenshot control. Just drag it down, place it where I want it, and just like that, I've customized.
And oh my god, the touch bar, dude, this is just sick. Like, look at it. Like, look at the DJ just playing his music on the touch bar. It's like off the hook, man. It's off the charts. Like, oh crap. 3 pounds in weight for the 13-inch and 4 pounds for the MacBook. Smaller in size and slimmer than the MacBook Air. You have 100 times faster SSD. You get better processor. You get better graphics. What else could you ask for? This machine is amazing. I just can't wait to see the price and just buy it right now, and this is so amazing. So, how much does it cost?
The pricing for these 3 configs are $14.99, $17.99, and $23.99.
Here comes the price. Screw it. This is it, man. Freaking just screw it. And if you thought these prices were bad, you still haven't seen the price in Europe. $16.99 for the baseline without the touch bar, and $19.99 for the baseline with touch bar 13-inch. Let me not even get into the 15-inch prices. Now, onwards in this video, we will be discussing the 13-inch baseline MacBook Pro that comes without a touch bar, because that is the only one that has been made available to people, and we have some reviews and benchmarks and so we can discuss about that. So, let's start. What do we get? The first thing is, it's 3 pounds in weight, it's smaller than a MacBook Air, and it's beautifully built using aluminum unibody. So, let us first talk about the improvements in this new MacBook Pro. The biggest improvement that a lot of people have mentioned so far is that the screen is now greatly improved. First of all, you get 500 nits of brightness, which makes it the brightest display in any ultra portable book out there. Secondly, it has higher contrast ratio, it has better color gamut, and it is overall an improvement, and it's thinner than the last one. Besides that, you now get two Thunderbolt 3 ports using a USB Type-C interface. yeah, a lot of people might hate it, and I will get to that later on. These ports are very powerful. You can charge your laptop with them, you can transfer data at amazing speeds, you can drive external monitors with them, you can drive more power from these ports than the previous one. So overall, this is a universal port that can do so many more things. We now get a 6th generation Skylake processor, though it might not be as good as it sounds, because the clock rate of this processor is lower than the baseline model of last year's, and more importantly, this processor runs on 15 watt of power as compared to the 28 watt of last year, so it cannot run at higher power as long as the previous one did. But again, when you look at the benchmark results, oh come on man. Sorry about that, skip all airport. Anyways, now when you look at the benchmark results, they're actually quite impressive. If you look at the values provided by Primate Labs, I will have the link in the description below. The new 13-inch MacBook Pro on Geekbench test, that is Geekbench 4, gives a value of, for single core, an average value of 3,573 and a multi-core value of 6,969. Now these values compared to the latest Kaby Lake processors aren't that good, but when you compare it to last year's MacBook Pro, they're actually better than the baseline model, and they're almost as good as the higher end i7 model of the 13-inch MacBook Pro. Now, some other people have done these tests as well. Austin Evans actually got a value of 3,754 for the single core and 7,188 for multi-core, and Mobile Tech Review got 3,536 for the single core and 7,192 for the multi-core. Again, the links will be in the description below. And these values are quite competitive with the new i5 Kaby Lake. Plus, you get Intel Iris graphics with this chip, which are much better than even the 7th generation Intel HD graphic that comes in competitive laptops like Dell XPS 13 and HP Spectre. The graphical benchmarks of the new MacBook Pro 2016 baseline shows that it's not only better than the last year's MacBook Pro, but actually competes quite well with the Windows laptop in the market with the 7th generation Intel processors. They've always known that the Apple products have the fastest SSDs in the market, but the new MacBook Pros have SSDs that are blazing fast. They are 100 times faster than the previous model, and they give you read speeds of over 2000 megabytes per second. And when you compare the speed test to some competitor like Dell XPS 13, these SSDs are like 4 times faster. This time around, people were actually kind of worried about the battery life, as Apple has reduced the battery in the 13-inch MacBook Pro from 74.5 watt hours to 54.5 watt hours. That is a 20% decrease in battery life. But Apple still advertises 10 hours of battery life on their website. So, what did the review say? They actually exceeded what Apple had advertised. Different people got around 10 to 12 hours of battery life with their laptops, which, if you ask me, is freaking amazing. So, before everyone starts hating me and calling me an Apple fanboy, just for your information, I have a Windows-based machine with me right now, and I have never owned an Apple product yet. Let me get into the negative, and oh boy, there are a bunch of them. So let's get into what everyone is hating on Apple. You get only 2 USB Type-C ports, and that is it. Wait, you get a headphone jack, don't forget that. Like, knowing Apple, it's a big blessing that they put that in there. But yeah, you get 2 USB Type-C ports, you get no SD card reader. That is my biggest problem with them. Come on, give me an SD card reader. I'm supposed to transfer this video onto my laptop and edit it to upload it. Now I can't do that on the new MacBook Pro. And there are no legacy USB Type-A ports. We should not even call them legacy at the moment. They are still widely in use, and it's not like they are only exist on the older machines. They are the mainstream port. So I can't connect my USB mouse anymore in the new machine. But yeah, the best option you have is to buy some USB hubs, which can cost you anywhere from 30 euros to 300 euros based on the quality that you want to buy. So there is that. And then of course the other problem being the price. Yeah, let's just accept it. They are freaking overpriced. You pay let's just discuss the American versions right now. You pay $14.99 for the baseline model. Let that sink in. That's $1,500 just for the baseline model. And if you want a touch bar, you need to break out 300 more euros. No big deal, I guess. Not for ultra rich people that Apple seems to be targeting, and not us poor students, I guess. But yeah, there's that. Apple, you pay for the Apple Premium or whatever. So the bottom line is they are freaking expensive. And yet I just ordered one last night. And this is my own money. I am not famous enough for some brand to sponsor and give me a laptop. Come on, I have like 200 subscribers. What do you expect from me? So I would now like to debunk some of the hate this machine is getting online. The most important one: ooh, you just made the laptop a bit slimmer and a bit lighter, and now you're charging $200 extra. No. Let's be honest, that is not all they did. They added a better processor, they made the screen a hell lot better, they gave you more advanced ports, even if you agree with that approach or not, and the SSD is blazing fast. So there's more to it than just making it lighter and slimmer. And about the $200 price hike, that is actually kind of false. When you look at the 13-inch MacBook Pro from 2015, which by the way is still available if you fancy that more, the price that you get, which is $200 less than the new one, is actually for the one that comes with a 128 gigabyte SSD. If you bump that up to the 256 GB SSD, the prices are almost the same. There is, I think, a difference of $30 to $40. So by paying an extra $30 to $40, you're getting a better screen, better SSD, better processor, and a slimmer and lighter machine that everyone seems to talk so much about. So no, it's not $200 more expensive for nothing. Another thing a lot of people seem to be ranting about is, ooh, you pay $300 more and just get a new gimmicky touch bar. Yes, I agree the touch bar is a bit gimmicky, and I doubt how useful it would be in real life. I wouldn't know, I haven't ordered that version. But it's not just the touch bar that you pay extra for. You're getting a faster processor, which is clocked higher and is actually 28 watts compared to the 15 watt processor you get in the baseline. So it will give you better performance. You get better inter-iris graphics, and the RAM is actually clocked higher on the higher end model as well. You get 8 GB of 2133 MHz LPDDR3 RAM compared to the 1866 MHz you get on the baseline. So no, you're not just paying $300 more for a touch bar, you're paying it for a faster processor, better graphics, and better RAM. Also, you get 2 additional Thunderbolt 3 ports, which honestly, we came to find out later, are not as fast as the one on the left side, but still, you get 2 extra ports. So no, you're not just paying $300 for a touch bar, you're paying it for a lot more. So, as we have all established, the MacBook Pro is overpriced. So why did I buy it? For that, you have to stay tuned, as I actually plan to do a completely standalone video on why I, as a computer science student, wanted to buy a MacBook and wanted to move to Mac OS. Stay tuned, that video will be coming in very soon. And I plan to do another video that actually addresses the issue, are Apple products overpriced or not? So, if you like the video, please leave a thumbs up, please subscribe as more videos are coming through, and in your comment section, why don't you do me a favor and leave suggestions for a YouTube name. The Geek Wolf idea did not pan out too well, let's just forget that ever happened. So I want a new YouTube name, so leave your comments on what do you want me to name my channel, and hopefully maybe I'll select yours and I will give you a shout out in the next video, because that is all I can do. I cannot afford to give you any gifts or anything. Sorry, I'm a poor student, man. So thank you for watching, thank you for sitting through it all. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, a lot more content is coming through, and I'll see you then.